Hello, good evening all. Welcome to another video with Pratham Test Prep. This is your host Sushila Chaudhary, and today we'll be talking about the release of naval officers, 8 naval officers from Qatar. So, 8 former Indian naval officers previously on death row in Qatar for unspecified charges have been released. 7 have returned to India. The charges were not disclosed, but reports suggest that they were accused of spying for Israel while working for Dahra Global in Qatar. In January, Qatar converted their death penalties to varying prison sentences. The diplomatic efforts between India and Qatar, the close allies, played a crucial role in securing of their release. The incident briefly strained the relations between the two nations, but sustained efforts resulted in a positive outcome. Now let's talk about a little bit about Qatar, if we might. So it is situated in the Middle East. Qatar stands as a peninsula bordered by South Arabia in the south and the Persian Gulf in east and north. Its capital Doha is a bustling hub of culture and commerce. Officially Arabic speaking, Qatar's currency is the Qatari Riyal, and it is renowned as the world's largest exporter of liquefied natural gas, and the nation has carved a significant niche in the global energy market through this. Reflecting on its cosmopolitan identity, Qatar boasts a diverse expatriate community, with Indians constituting the largest group, contributing with approximately 8 lakh individuals working and living there. The flow of remittances from Qatar and the safety of Indian citizens make Qatar a vital for India's interest. Now let's talk about the relation the two countries have shared. Now talking about the historical relations, India and Qatar have maintained friendly relationship for decades. It started with former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's visit to Qatar in 2008, which marked a significant turning point, which was followed by reciprocal visits from the Emir of Qatar and the current Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Qatar's membership in the Gulf Cooperation Council is strategically significant for India, especially concerning issues like Kashmir, as there are other countries which support the other nation which want to acquire Kashmir. Now let's talk about the economic ties these two countries share. First of all, we've already talked that over 8 lakh Indian individuals are living in Qatar. Apart from that, Qatar is the largest supplier of liquefied natural gas to India, making it critical for India's energy security. The bilateral trade between India and Qatar is valued at $15 billion, and primarily it involves the exports of LNG, so that is liquefied natural gas, and LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas, from Qatar to India. Apart from that, several Indian companies including Tata Consultancy Services, Wipro, Mahindra, Larsen and Turbo Limited operate in Qatar as well. Now about the defense cooperation between the two countries, India and Qatar have a strong defense partnership marked by India-Qatar Defense Cooperation Agreement since 2008. This agreement regularly extends and emphasizes training exchanges, mutual visits, joint naval exercises, etc. The stability of the Gulf region holds paramount importance for India's energy and maritime security, underscoring the significance of this defense collaboration. So all in all, these countries have shared great ties with each other for a very long time, but these ties were severed somehow in August when the 8 ex-naval officers were arrested in Qatar for the charges of espionage or spying. Now let's see what was their chronological events and how everything unraveled between these incidents. So in August 2022, Qatari authorities took former Indian naval officers, these 8 officers, into custody on unspecified charges. Now these are the charges that are still not made clear by our government or the Qatar's government. So now moving on, in August, after months of detention, the Qatari authorities revealed that the 8 former naval officers were spying on Qatar's secret submarine program for Israel. Then later on, September that year, the first bail plea of the jailed Indian officers was held a month after they were picked up and detained in the solitary confinement, and the plea was rejected. Later on, in March, from March to June in 2023, the case had seen two trials, firstly being in March and second being in June. And while the detainees were granted consular access on multiple occasions, both Indian and Qatari authorities have maintained a veil of secrecy around the case, citing its sensitivity. Then, in August, so these 8 former Indian naval officers were detained in Qatar in August 2022, and they faced accusation of espionage related to a submarine program. The men were allegedly involved in activities connected to espionage and state-sponsored terrorism. Espionage, if for the students who do not know, and for clarity, espionage is the crime of spying or secretly watching a person, company, or government, etc., for the purpose of gathering secret information or detecting wrongdoing, and to transfer such information to another organization or state. So the charges against them were not made public by the Qatari authorities, like we know, but what was made public, that they were working for a private company in Qatar that provided them training and related services to Qatar's armed forces. The court of first instance in Qatar announced the death penalty for these people in October 2026. So on October 26, 2023, the first court of instance in Qatar announced a death penalty verdict for the 8 former naval officers. The specific charges again that led to this verdict were not revealed, and India's Ministry of External Affairs expressed a deep shock on this particular verdict. Then later on in December, the Court of Appeal in Qatar commuted the death sentences of 8 former Indian Navy personnel who were arrested last year on the alleged espionage charges. Later this year, so that is in February 2024, these 8 men were released from the Qatari jails. So this was all. Today we understood the issue of the 8 ex-naval officers that were held in Qatar. Then further on, we talked about India and Qatar's tie with each other, and the chronological events that took place and how these people were released, which is a sigh of relief for their families, and it's also going to assure in betterment of the ties between Qatar and India. So that is all from our side today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you've liked the video, and leave a comment and share it with fellow beings. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.